So for 2024, I said, let me search for some popular resolutions. And they were all identical, like just cookie cutter nonsense. But I said, fine, let me take some of the popular ones and see how I can apply them to the restaurant world. So here we go. Number 1, if you want to be more fit, if you want to be more healthy, blah, blah, blah. No one ever said that restaurant food is the healthiest thing. On the contrary, restaurant food is so good because it's filled with so much butter and fats than you even realize. So if you're healthier, you can physically afford to eat out more often. So good for you. Number 2, you want to be more organized, be it mentally or physically, whatever. The way you mentally organize yourself before eating out is you say to yourself, let me better align my expectations of this restaurant with the reality so that I won't get upset. And let me have a better idea of how I'm going to order, what style of dining I want to partake in, and how I'm going to pay for this meal. Number 3, you want to learn new things and you want to try new things. Well, this is a fun one. If you want to try new things, then at a restaurant, live outside of your comfort zone. Try new foods, expand your palate. It's a lot of fun. And if you want to learn new things, well, great. How about you learn how to tip? There's that one. Okay. Let's say that you want to live life to the fullest. Number 4. Well, then try that restaurant that you always thought was too expensive. Or when you go out to eat, buy that big bottle of wine or champagne or that expensive food item because, like you said, you want to live life to the fullest. So, splurge. You work hard, enjoy your money. Number 5, quit smoking. This one's just really simple. Smoking decreases your sense of taste, your sense of smell. So basically, if you smoke and you want to enjoy food, you're neutering yourself. So just if you stop, it's inevitable that you're going to enjoy your food experiences a lot more. Number 6, you want to spend more time with family and friends. This is also a cool one. Then go out to eat with your family and friends more often. But before you do, don't forget number 2 about being more organized. Don't go out to eat with a chaotic sense of like spontaneity. No, know how you're going to order, know what the vibe is going to be, and certainly know how you're going to pay when you go out with your friends and your family. And then number 7, lastly, you want to read more. Well, this one is my favorite because what that means is when you go out to a restaurant, make sure you read the damn menu so you stop asking us so many stupid fucking questions. So here's the thing. If you want to be a better person in the pursuit of that goal, there is no failure because even if you fall short of some of these goals, you're always going to be a better person at the end of the day for the effort. The only thing that's certain is that you're not going to do these things every single day. What you are going to do every day, however, is eat food. So I think it's worth investing time and energy into increasing the quality of your culinary life. So for the last time in 2023 and the first time in 2024, I'd like to say, Adrian, start it up.
Happy New Year and welcome to the Fancy Bread Podcast where we talk all things restaurants. I'm one of your hosts, Adrian.
I'm your other host, Ed.
And today we're going over our memorable moments for 2023, our reflections about it as well, and some resolutions for restaurants for 2024.
Here we go.
Towards the end. So speaking about resolutions, which ones of your resolutions that you proposed to yourself at the beginning of 2023, you followed through to the end of the year?
None of them.
Really?
Not a single one.
Damn.
Because the thing is, I'm kind of like, it's not Christmas anymore, but I'm kind of Scroogey in that way. Like, I'm just not very ceremonious. Like, I don't like doing things for the sake of doing them because you're supposed to do them on a certain day. Like, if you want to give somebody a gift, don't wait for their birthday. Give them a gift on a Tuesday. A random Tuesday. I guarantee you it's going to be so awesome of an experience because it's so good to give as it is to receive. You know, you want to start working out? Don't wait for the ball to drop. Just start working out.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So I didn't make any resolutions, but I think if I had made any, I probably wouldn't have kept them anyway. So just none across the board.
Which is fine. I guess it just goes to the kind of person that you are, right? Because in my case, I'm a lot more structured.
Yeah, and that's totally cool.
And I did propose myself some resolutions for this year, and I pulled through. For a lot of people thinking, oh, if you work in a restaurant, for example, that sells meat, and you're vegan, oh, you can't do that. I mean, I didn't do that this year, but I did it for a while in a previous year.
Yeah.
You know, you can do that. This year, I said to myself, I'm going to stop drinking. And I did.
You did stop drinking.
Yeah, I did stop drinking. I did that since January last year. And the point being is that don't think that because you're in a particular environment that serves something that you can't do it yourself. I've spoken to bartenders who have told me I stopped drinking as well. There's no excuse to you wanting to do something different than the environment that you're in.
It's true.
It's true that it helps if you are in a particular restaurant or in an environment that doesn't do the things that you don't want to do. That definitely helps. Yeah. But there is no reason why you shouldn't be able to do that.
We know that the restaurant industry in particular is not very healthy. Even if you don't partake in the drugs that are everywhere, it's still tolling on your body and on your mind. It's an industry that requires a lot of perseverance. So if you go into a restaurant and you say, you know what, I'm not going to drink, I'm not going to do drugs, I'm going to go to bed and get as much rest as possible, those are challenges in the restaurant industry. But they can be done. You stop drinking, you don't do drugs, you practice what you preached. I'm happy for you. I'm happy that you set those goals and you did them. Would I have done those things if I had set a goal for myself? Maybe. Maybe not. But I didn't set any goals. I'm just happy to be here, buddy.
Well, the one thing that I would say is, I learned this recently while scouting online, is that don't be upset because you fell off the horse. Don't let that beat you down. What's most important is how fast you can get back on that horse. If you set a goal to go to the gym and work out, and then you stop going to the gym, don't be like, oh, I stopped going for 2 weeks. I won't be able to do that anymore. Screw this. I'm out. No, it's just how quickly can you get back on that and say, you know what, I'm going to get back on the gym. That's what really matters.
Yeah, it's just like I said at the beginning of the show. There is no failure when you try to become a better person. You might exceed your expectations or you might not meet them, but you're still a better person for the effort.
Now, what is something that you perhaps challenged yourself this year or something that you found that gave you some sense of growth?
One of the challenges that I set for myself in the restaurant specifically was becoming more self-sufficient with wine sales. I said to myself, I want to, as little as possible, refer to a sommelier on our floor to sell wine. And that required me and is currently requiring me to dissect our wine list and Google every wine that I find intriguing and finding an interesting story about it, discovering why it's called what it's called, why its cuvee is what it is. And before realizing it, I look at our wine list now and I say, there's 20 wines on this page. I know a story about 12 of these wines now. And I didn't know anything about any of these wines. I could bullshit about them, but now I actually know things about these wines. And it makes something as big and as intimidating as a wine list seem much more approachable. As always with information in a restaurant, it's never symmetrical. And I've said that before. So you're always going to know more than your guest for the most part, especially about the food. But wines being universal, you're still going to know more about it than your guests. But there are going to be people who come in who are like, they know their shit.
Yeah.
So if they know what they're talking about and you know what you're talking about, you very quickly connect with each other. Yeah. So now I feel much more confident where I could just sell wine to anybody in our restaurant. And this is just the beginning. I've only been doing it for 2 months.
Nice.
But as it progresses and I keep it up, I'm not going to look to a sommelier for anything, honestly. And that just improves my rapport with my tables, but it also improves service in general because it speeds it up. And, you'll
really create a better experience.
Exactly.
For your guests.
So that's, as far as the intimate aspect of my restaurant building, that's one of the goals that I've set for myself. And so far, so good. So what about you? Have you set any very specific goals for yourself in your restaurant? Let's start small.
Outside of the restaurant, actually.
Okay.
And that panned into the restaurant. And it was this podcast. As we've been on this journey for 3-4 years now. Something that we found very quickly is that when you record yourself and you get to see yourself and listen to yourself, there's a lot of things that were invisible to you.
Mm-hmm.
And we had some coworkers and some friends that told us, "Oh, you guys say this too much. You say that word a lot. You use the that you know what I mean, the guys." And that really helped me fix
both of us,
or
man.
change a lot of my dialect. And throughout this year, being able to look at ourselves in camera, it really helped me change a little bit of my body language, how
Absolutely.
I sit, how I project myself.
Absolutely.
And that really translated to the point that a lot of our guests in the restaurants ask me, like, "Do you do something outside of this? Like, do you act? What do you do?" Because the way that you project yourself, it's
with the ego of an actor.
And I'm like, with the ego of an actor.
No, that feedback from our coworkers was greatly appreciated.
Yeah.
It's pretty common. You don't hear these things or see them because you're living it. Mm-hmm. But getting some perspective from the outside, which thankfully has all been constructive from the people we know, I think has helped us greatly.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate it.
Something I learned very recently is that when something is habitual to you, it's invisible to you. When someone else gives you that feedback,
right,
just take a moment. Don't immediately react to it like I did the first time that somebody told us about the show. We're like, "It's perfect."
Right.
No, it wasn't.
Never perfect.
And I went back to him and I said, "Thank you." And a lot of the guests that have come into our show, after they see it for themselves, they're like, "I had no idea that I spoke like that I behaved like that was my body language." So something for all of you servers out there or anyone watching is try this exercise. Record yourselves doing a spiel of your restaurant or of whatever you do. Then put your phone down and just listen to it. Don't watch it. Then you turn the volume down and then you will watch it, but not listen to it. And then finally, you will listen to it and watch it. This will show the things that you say that might be awkward to you, the things that you do that might be awkward to you, and then how those two combine help you project yourself.
Yeah, listen to it, watch it, but don't like it. Like it, but don't love it. Love it, but don't become like dependent on it or whatever. I don't know.
You can always improve. And I'm just want to say again, thank you to everyone that really supported us throughout this year.
Honestly, yeah.
Anyone that all those comments, those DMs, they really help. Thank you. We set out on this journey asking ourselves, are people going to listen? Will they care? Is it going to help them in some way?
Right.
And your comments have really helped. A lot of people have reached out and say, I have no idea about those things that you guys said. It makes me, fix or change the way that I serve or approach my tables or serve my guests, or I will never say that to a guest again. Thank you.
I remember saying that the thing, because you and I we have the social media intelligence of like a 3-year-old combined. It's never been a part of my life. So this is all a new journey for both of us. Yeah. And I quickly realized that one of the things I love most about our social media platform, as far as Fancy Bread is concerned, is just how ravenous industry is. Yeah. One of my favorite things is seeing someone comment on one of our content and be it something negative. Holy shit. Dude, you industry people are like piranhas, bro. We haven't had to say anything in response to a negative comment ever. Yeah. Because industry people hit them. One of my favorite things is just seeing, there's this one guy who commented and the dude's got like 300 replies. And they're all like, fuck you. Tell me you don't work in the industry without telling me you don't work in the industry type stuff. Man, thank you so much to all of you who are just...
And to our warriors out there, because we noticed
you guys
that
are fucking
there's
soldiers,
some of you
bro.
in particular that will always come up to that battle. So hopefully we'll do an episode where we're just going to reply to as many comments as we possibly
Honestly,
can.
just thank you for
and
the
we're definitely
engagement.
going to, yes. And please keep doing so.
Thank you for the engagement in general. Even if you took time out of your day to say, oh, I hate this guy's goofy glasses and these guys are arrogant and these guys don't know what service is. Dude, you took time out of your day to say that, and it created engagement for our content. So we appreciate that as well.
Yeah. And please, if you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It will help us grow. We're this year is going to be very big for us. We're trying to find people to join us so that we can make the channel grow. Again, give a voice to everybody that works in the industry.
That's basically what it's all about, building a community. We just want to create a platform where industry people, we can just talk to each other, and we can create forums of communication where problems are given and solutions are found. That's all it's about, because I mean, there's so many of us. I mean, if you think that you're doing something, or if you think you had a shift at work that is bananas and the craziest shift you've ever had, and no one can understand what you're going through, I'm just going to be very confident and say, no. What you're going through at work, or what you're experiencing, or how crazy a table is being, or we've all gone through it, or you know someone who has, or someone has gone through it, but they just haven't been able to communicate with you. You're not alone in this. All we're trying to do is just reinforce and galvanize this effort, because what we do is important, and what we do to do it well is not easy. So, this is what we're here for.
Now, let's go into some favorites of the year. Your favorite piece of media, talking about restaurants this year.
What do you mean? Give me an example.
Like a movie or a series, anything.
There's this Netflix series called Street Food, and Mexico City is like, my favorite fucking city on the planet, bro.
Yeah.
And they had a Mexico City episode, and I learned a lot of new things about it, but all it really did was just reinforce my love for the city. And I can't wait to go back. I mean, I'm simple, dude. I'm not like that for me in terms of like media, because I don't really pay attention to maybe that. And like, since I'm on Instagram now more than I ever have been in my life, seeing all these videos of like these juicy, gooey cookies. That's it. Mexico City, street food, and cookies. That's it. That does it for me.
Well, to me, I got to say The Bear.
Yeah, The Bear's cool. I saw it.
Now, I know it doesn't perfectly show how the restaurant industry work, but it did show a different angle to the restaurant industry of how stressful it can be, how human it can be, and just about the drama that the back of the house can go through. Because yes, they might have exaggerated a couple of things, but not necessarily exaggerated.
They're based on reality.
They're based on reality. And that show really popularized and romanticized kind of like what goes behind in the restaurant.
Yeah. But it has a foothold in what really happens.
Yeah.
Like if you've never worked in a kitchen, or you've never worked as a server, or if you've never worked in a restaurant, and you watch The Bear without that context, a lot of that shit is real.
Yeah.
A lot of it is real. And it just goes to show you, man, that when you sit down to eat and that plate comes to you, you have no idea the stuff that restaurant went through to get that plate to you. And we talked about this in one of our audio only episodes a while back called The Swan, where it's just a ballet. A swan is swimming gracefully on the surface of the water. And, they're known for their grace, like even in ballet, right? But underneath the water, like that swan's like feet are going crazy in order to keep it like that smooth, graceful swim. So that's kind of like what a restaurant is. A restaurant is a ballet of organized chaos.
Yeah. I wanted to mention also social media. I think that in social media, there has been a booming of these influencers and people doing food reviews, to the point that if you want to look for a restaurant now, instead of Googling it or going on Yelp or any of those things, you can just write it on TikTok or write it on Instagram.
Yeah.
And you will see tons of videos, reviews. And for those that require a little bit more visual stimulation, then it really helps for you to make that decision as to where you want to go.
Right.
So that has been a very interesting for me, because like what you said, social media and us is not a thing.
It's not my thing.
But more old school.
Those review videos, I think they can be very good, but I just think a lot of times they're done by people who you can tell just by the way they talk about the restaurant they're at, they've never lived this life.
Perhaps.
I'm just saying.
Somebody's got to do it.
Somebody's got to do it.
So speaking of restaurants, what was a restaurant that you discovered this year that you have frequently visit?
What's my favorite restaurant in Miami?
Yeah, but is that a restaurant that you discovered this year?
Well, the answer, it's Uchi. But the thing about that answer is that I only discovered that it is my favorite like 2 months ago. And that journey took a lot of like reflection, because I'm the kind of person that I don't really have a favorite of anything. I don't have a favorite color, an ice cream flavor, a car, nothing. I don't have a favorite anything. I like a lot of things, but I can't, it's like a personality disorder. I can't say, oh, this is like my favorite thing. I just don't do that with a lot of things. I discovered while sitting down to eat at the bar at Uchi, I looked around and I was like, dude, this is my favorite fucking restaurant. And that took a lot. It took a lot, because there's other restaurants that I go to more often than Uchi, but it is my favorite restaurant, and that might change.
Yeah.
Because the nature of food is constantly evolving. Who knows? They might change the chef. It might go downhill. Who knows? But where Uchi is right now in terms of their culinary experience that they offer to guests, I discovered that 2 months ago, and it is just... That's it.
We all have restaurants that are on different price ranges and different cuisines.
Right.
But a restaurant that I discovered this year that I absolutely enjoy and I keep going back to it, it's called Dumplings Mi Amor.
Dumplings Mi Amor.
And yes, that is in downtown. And this guy makes a crab fried rice that is just absolutely fantastic.
You've never taken me to Dumplings Mi Amor?
Well, Mi Amor, we might just go check out Dumplings Mi Amor. But this place is something that I very much enjoy. It's something that's very affordable. Anyone can go check it out. And I would very much highly recommend that you do so. Now, you said something about restaurants no longer being there. What is a restaurant that unfortunately closed their doors this year that you're going to very much miss?
I don't know the answer to that question.
You know the answer to that question? You don't have a restaurant that closed recently that you used to go to?
Not that I can think of, no.
Well, I only have one.
Wait. Give me a hint.
Indian.
Oh, Taste Buds of India, bro.
Taste Buds of
/
India.
Indian Spice.
Yes.
There's this little Indian restaurant around here. It used to be called Taste Buds of India, and then they did a rebranding, and now they were called Indian Spice. Doesn't matter. During both periods of its existence, it was unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Always empty though. Reason why they probably closed.
Sucks, bro.
But I would visit that place at least once a week.
Dude, you know that it's a place is close if you can walk to it. In Miami, if you can walk somewhere to do something, it's close. And speaking of that, I'd have to give a special shout out to Katana as well. Katana has always been like a solid, fun, affordable place to go eat.
And always busy. Always busy.
Always busy.
They open at 6 and that line, it's 5:30.
I'm so happy.
It's
I'm
a
so
line.
happy for them that they're still around. They've been around for years. But because it's just consistent. It's just consistent. The eel with the crab dynamite and the gyozas, the crispy gyozas, and you order a spicy tuna roll, and
you support your local restaurant.
You get a beer that's the size of your head. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And when you're done, you can eat your head off, and when you're done, your bill is like $40. Can't beat it.
So let's go into some least favorites. What was your least favorite shift to work this year?
Christmas. Christmas by far.
It's interesting to say that during a time where people were usually very excited and very happy and very giving and very loving, this year took a turn. This year definitely took a turn. A lot of Grinches in Christmas this year.
Including me. Well, first, I don't know what your restaurant looked like on Christmas, where you worked or where you cooked at, whatever. Our restaurant was fucking slammed. Slammed. We were so busy. There wasn't any amount of Christmas spirit that made any of those people happy for waiting so long to sit down. It was just terrible. I hated Christmas. I feel like fucking blowing the building up. It was so bad, man. By far, like my least favorite shift of the year. And I've had some fucking bad shifts this year. We all have. Christmas, not because it just happened. No. Don't think that it's fresh in my mind. That shit could have happened in January. And I'd be like, Christmas. I would have answered just as fast. So bad.
Well, and this one, like you mentioned earlier, I don't have one in particular.
Yeah.
Just because of something that I would say, thank you, because you showed me this year. I remember I was having a bad shift and you came to me and said, no matter what, the day is going to come to an end.
That's right.
And I started using that as a mantra from wherever I was having a bad day. I would say, you know what? It's okay. No matter what, today's going to end.
This too shall pass.
This too shall pass. And I would say that to other coworkers who I would see that they were having a bad day. I would just put my hand on the shoulder and be like, hey, this too shall pass.
You said it to me on Christmas.
That really helped me throughout this year to get through the worst of times, because at the end of the day, it will pass. And tomorrow we will do it all over again.
That was your Christmas gift to me this year. Coming to me with that mantra. And that made up for the fact that you've never invited me to dumplings, mi amor. So what about some of the positive shifts? What about shifts that you remember, tables you remember? Anything come to mind? The thing is, we wait on, and you guys understand this, you wait and you see so many people that it's very hard for any one experience to distinguish itself. It's just a plethora of people and faces, and even, like I said, even if somebody's like generous and they tip you really well, it's still hard to remember them. Yeah. You see so many people.
But I would say that I'm very glad to say that there's a lot of memorable faces
that
we have throughout the year that we have somehow through our service or having these conversations with them, we connected with them and they will come back or they will text you, or, it has been very rewarding to create those connections with people. Something that I also learned this year from a good friend of mine is that before this year, I wouldn't make a lot of reservations for people. Like, people would text me for a reservation and I wouldn't just do that. And,
you would not do it?
Yeah, I wouldn't do it. I would just, say, you just call the restaurant or do that.
Why?
I just wouldn't. I just wouldn't take my time to do that. And a good friend of mine, she said to me, your job doesn't end, when you clock out.
That's right.
There's a lot more to it.
That's the truth.
And, it took a second. I said, you're right. I apologized. And I got it into the habit of, giving my phone number to guests so that they can make reservations through me, or make even reservations to other restaurants with people that I already know.
It's big.
That, it felt very rewarding, because I not only felt that I was doing something more for our guests, but I felt more connected to people who I used to work with in other places.
That's right.
It's like, oh, can I get a reservation at that restaurant? Yeah, I know someone because I used to work with this guy that goes over there, and it's nice to have those things. And I started to doing that this year, and it was very rewarding. So
yeah, man. So it's like they say, in any city you work in, no matter the size of the city, the restaurant industry within that city is very small, because we are all pockets, no matter where we are. So that used to be something that you would say as kind of like a warning to people, like, don't fuck anybody over, because then that's going to follow you everywhere. It's going to be hard to escape that, because again, the restaurant industry is so small. But I think it's also important to view it in a positive way, because if you do well, and if you put good energy out there, and you help people, and you vouch for people when they want to interview at your restaurant, or you spread good news about people, then that'll also come back to you. Like, it's important to not burn those bridges, because again, since this industry is so small, anyone with experience will tell you they've gotten more jobs through friends than they have through the traditional interview process. Like, if you know enough people and you're a good enough person, you're gonna get a job somewhere. You're gonna be able to go somewhere else.
So do you have a favorite for this year? A favorite shift?
A favorite shift? No. But I will say there are certain experiences that I've had that were just phenomenal, because the guests were just so positive, and they were just obviously there to just have such a great time, and they were just radiating that energy, and they were extremely generous. Like, if they weren't generous, and I mean really fucking generous, if they weren't that generous but they still were positive, it still would have been a great experience. But the fact that they topped off that real raw positive energy with material positivity, I was like, fuck, dude.
Cherry on top.
Like, holy shit, like, so awesome.
Now, you mentioned something interesting among your words.
Talk to me.
Warnings. Did you get any warnings this year?
Oh, like write-ups?
Yes. get written up this year? And also, if you did, let us know down in the comments. Did you get write up this year and why?
Well, you know me, Papi Chulo. I always like to dance.
That's with fire.
Dance. I always like to play with fire. I always like to live on the edge. That's me. I always like to, take one step. You remember? I always like to take one step too far and then see what happens. But this year, oddly enough, I think I got a warning, but I don't recall getting written up, which is fucking amazing for me. No write-ups. And not to like pat myself on the back, but I think that just has to do with the fact that I know when to push and when to let go.
There you go.
I'm very good at reading a table and seeing. I mean, there are moments where I'm like, did I go too far? I say that to myself a lot, but I always kind of mix it in with some charisma. We all have our strengths.
Yeah.
I know what my strengths are, and I definitely know what my weaknesses are. And one of my strengths is just being able to talk my way in and out of everything.
Yeah, well, luckily, neither did I.
How the fuck are you going to get a write-up, bro? You're like an angel. Get out of here.
Speaking of angels and demons, was there a moment throughout this year where you did something that you said, that was very Adrian of me? Because I had a moment where I did something and I said, that was very Edwin of me.
Very Adrian of me?
You want me to tell you mine first?
Sure, go ahead.
So my moment of channeling Edwin was in Christmas.
It was Christmas?
In Christmas Day, yes.
Oh, so I mean, Christmas was an interesting shit for both of us.
And I had a section that had a long booth on one side, like where we are, but a lot longer, with 3 tables where people would sit front and back. And because we were so busy this day, I made a 6 stop where everybody would sit next to each other. And come in 6 guys and they'll say, how are we supposed to sit here? How are we going to eat like this? We don't want this. And they go and talk to the hostess or manager so they can get another table.
Right.
And the table that I was serving right next to them says to me, that's ridiculous. Who would eat like that? And I look at her and I say, Jesus.
Jesus.
She for a moment like,
hey.
But then it's not the Last Supper. And I'm like, and who are we here to celebrate today?
It's Christmas, baby.
At that moment, I said to myself,
some shit
that was very Edwin of me.
That is something I would say. I don't think I did anything this year. Well, I can't recall at the moment that specifically channeled you. But perhaps something you've said that resonates with me sometimes is that these experiences that these people have is about them. It's not about us. And I've had to take a moment to say to myself, this experience isn't about me. Like I like to talk to people and you could say, oh, I like to be a comedian with people. But you go see a comedian. You pay to see them. Mm-hmm. These people aren't paying to see me. They're paying so that I can take care of them. So I've had to step outside of myself, and it's been a humbling experience. I mean, I'm still I still sprinkle, my attitude and my assholeness in there. Let's be honest. But if anything, that's helped me a lot because it's taken a lot of pressure off. Because I'm not here to perform for these people. They're not here to see me. So the way people react, in the past, a long time ago, I would say something and I would honestly, I'd be like, oh, that didn't go the way I thought it would go. So these people are assholes. And that's an immature way of thinking. What does it matter? They're not here for me. Yeah. They're here because they want to sit down and they're paying to be taken care of. Yeah. So that changed a lot of my perspective because you said you like to, be very personal with people, which I'm not still, but in the sense of just creating a stage where people can enjoy themselves.
Well, something that I learned a while ago, when I used to work in a pool tip restaurant, I had this coworker. I'm going to give a shout out, Marlon. Love you, bro. He was the one that would put the most money in the pool. And I wanted to do my part because I felt that at the very end of the night, he was pulling for the whole team. And I went to him and I said, Marlon, how do you do it? How do I make more tips so that I can, pull my weight? And he said to me, what did you do for that table that you didn't do for that table? And I'm just like dumbstruck. I was like, I don't know. And it's like, what do you do for that table that you didn't do for that table? In the same stupid face, I was like, I don't know. It's like, that's where you're failing. You got to do something special for every table. And you only do that when you find out a little bit about your tables. Talk to them. Where they from? Why are they here? Where are they going afterwards? And find little ways for you to create an experience for them. Because something that people are not expecting when they go to a good restaurant is personable service. They're not expecting it. They're going to a restaurant saying, oh, I heard they have good food. I've seen that the place looks beautiful. I've heard that it's a fun time. But they never expect that the person that's going to serve them, it's going to create such an experience for them or add value to their experience. So when you add value to that guest experience, they will reward you with value. So honestly, when you say that, it goes back to what I learned from him, because they're not there for us.
They're not.
But everything we can do is add value to what they're there for. And if you do that, your tips inevitably are going to go up.
I think so, yeah. It's important. It's important to, again, like I said, if all you do for people is take their order and all you know is your menu, your drinks, what's inside of your building, you're leaving a lot of things on the table. You always have to enhance their experience. You have to be able to talk about more than just your restaurant. You have to be able to guide people.
And speaking of leaving, how about we give a small moment of silence for those who left, for those who are gone, for those who didn't survive this year. You shall be missed.
To all the fallen soldiers out there.
To all the fallen soldiers out there. But also, salute to all of those who made the decision to get something else. Because something that I always say is that if you don't like the job that you're in, there's plenty of opportunities out there. So go look for those. We respect that.
Yeah. The turnover in this industry is huge. Huge. It's a revolving door. If you're still doing it because you've found a niche and you're making some money and you feel like you're where you should be, great for you. If you're not happy and you went somewhere else, you did something outside of the industry and you feel fulfilled, super happy for you. But to those who didn't make it, another one bites the dust.
We asked and you answered. And here are some of the resolutions for restaurants for 2024.
Or some of you didn't answer because you guys are douchebags.
We got some DMs, personal people that came
Not
up
all
to
of
us
you,
and said
some of
that,
you.
but nobody wanted to answer online.
Classic server shit.
Classics.
We don't take part in anything. Nothing.
Oh, we'll come to you and tell you on the side.
Right. Like a toy drive. How many people aided in the toy drive of their restaurants?
Let us know.
None of you. Those kids are got no toys this year. Anyways, go ahead.
So these are some of the things that we would like restaurants to start doing or stop doing this year of 2024.
Boom.
You want to start?
Yeah. I got one I would love to stop seeing. I don't want to see this anymore. This is big, though. It's big. Fake vegan food. For an example, like a vegan burger or cauliflower buffalo wings or vegan tacos. Like, yo, stop it. Stop it. There's no, and I'm not talking about the nature of the taste of the food. A lot of vegan food is delicious. A lot of food that is delicious has always been vegan. So there's no problem with that. But yo, if you really want to call yourself a vegan, which is not a moderate thing, it's an extreme thing, then be real about it. If you want to be a restaurant that says, I'm a vegan restaurant, then don't fucking offer a vegan burger. Because even that in and of itself is lazy. Call it something else. A burger is fucking carne with whatever you want to put on it in between two pieces of bread. That's it. That's what a burger is. It's ground beef. If you want to be a vegan restaurant, be fucking creative. Call it something else. Do something else with the ingredients. Deconstruct a burger and call it something else. Call it a fucking vegan maze of pretend meats and vegetable. I don't care. Stop it. Because what the hell is the point? What is the point? If you want to be vegan, then be vegan. Stop eating pretend shit. And mind you, again, If it's good, is another issue. I love cauliflower that's deep fried and has sauce on it. Who doesn't? It's fantastic. Impossible meat, whatever you want to call it, in between two buns is good. It can be good. I even had a dream one time that was like, yo, in some weird Mad Max future, there's no more beef. And beef is not the future, mind you. Our meat is impossible meat or some synthetic shit they make with a laser, 3D print. You ever seen that 3D printed cheesecake? It's fucking disgusting looking. I digress. Like, I could eat that future meat if that's all that's available. But we have meat now. So stop diluting my burger experience with your fucking vegan burger. Stop it. Get more creative, chefs, and come up with different things or different ways to serve that meat so that you can stop calling it a burger. Like, if you don't want to eat burgers anymore, God bless you. Now more than ever, it's the best time, and as time goes on, it gets better and better for you plant-based vegan people. But stop going to a place and eating a vegan burger, bro. Cut it out. That shit is not for you anymore. That's for me and my meat-eating friends. You don't want to do that anymore? Separate yourself completely. What do you got?
You good?
I'm good now. It bothers me, man. It bothers me. Vegan coconut shrimp. What the fuck is in it? What's inside of it? Stop calling it shrimp. It's not shrimp. I don't want to get into it anymore. Go ahead. What do you got? Give me a negative. Give me something you don't want anymore.
Here's one very simple. No more chewing gum in restaurants. Please.
Servers?
Listen, tired we are of getting gum out of the bottom of the tables, scraping gum off the bottom of the tables. Now we're getting there. And chairs.
Now we're getting there.
You'd be surprised in the nooks and crannies that you will find gum.
Yo.
Stop it. No more gum. Buy mints.
You ever touch a piece of gum under a table with your finger?
All the time.
Oh, so gross.
All the time. You're trying to move a table for a gas.
You feel nice. That squishy.
And it's like...
that squishy fucking... I mean...
So at least thank you.
I don't get
to
it.
all the guests that say, can I please have some paper napkins?
Look at a napkin.
Thank you.
Dude.
Seriously, thank you. Something that I do is I'm a little bit more proactive. If I see someone that's chewing, I'll bring him paper napkins. But for you who out there who are asking for napkins, thank you. To everyone that can't, just don't. Get some mints.
Yo, if I ever catch you putting a piece of gum under a table at a restaurant I work at, I'm going to fucking embarrass you. I'm going to embarrass you. I'm going to make you feel very bad about yourself. What else you got? Oh, let's talk about something good.
Go for it.
Let's because I'm getting dizzy. I got a lot of negativity here. You know what I would like to see more of? Non-alcoholic drinks. I have some friends who don't drink, and I would like that if they went out, they didn't have to get a virgin mojito or a club soda. You know? Non-alcoholic wine and just really composed mixology-based drinks based on non-alcoholic things. I think that'd be really cool. It's cool when you go to a restaurant and they have a non-alcoholic section and those drinks are like composed.
Yeah.
They've got like a ton of different things and they have their own personality. It's not just like one of their cocktails without alcohol in it. I'd like to see more of that.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Staying positive for some, not for everybody.
Right.
Because the ones that have to do it, it's not going to be positive for you. 1 month long schedules.
So you're saying is when you get your schedule posted, you want it for the whole month.
For the whole month. You know, a conversation that I recently had with my
That's
dad.
not going to happen anytime soon.
Oh, it's not going to happen anytime
It's not going to happen.
But hey, we can hope.
We can dream.
We can dream. 'Cause I was having a conversation with my dad, and who I wanted to go visit, and he's like, "Well, you know, when you gonna let me know?" And I'm like, "Well, when my schedule comes out." And it's like, "When does that happen?" I'm like, "Well, maybe Friday, maybe Saturday." Right. For when? For starting Monday? Yes. Right. You don't know what day you work until like a day sometimes.
I've gotten my schedule.
Since it's the day before or the day of.
I've gotten my schedule for the week at Sunday at 11:30 p.m.
Yeah.
It happens. It's
to
one
the
of
point
the
that
downfalls.
it's normal. Like I didn't think that it wasn't normal.
It
didn't
even upset you.
I wasn't upset. I was like, this is normal.
Okay,
and my dad's like, I get the schedule for the whole month. And I'm like, you get what?
Yeah.
So that'll be nice. Schedule for the whole month.
Yeah. I got one I don't want to see anymore. Air frying. I just don't like it.
Really?
Nothing you air fry ever fucking comes out as good as normal frying. Nothing.
Interesting.
Nothing. I don't give a shit what you say. I don't give a shit if you got a Black & Decker, a Ninja, if you paid, if Nespresso comes out with a $600,000 air fryer, if Lamborghini comes out with an air fryer. Never comes out. You could get a fucking little Black & Decker deep fryer, and that's going to make food better than any air fryer you do.
Don't you have an air fryer at home?
I don't use it. I don't use it. I have this dual oven that weighs 700 pounds. It's a toaster oven, but the shit weighs 700 pounds and it's got 2 zones. I don't use the air fryer.
All right. Since we're in kitchen, here's one from the kitchen to you. No more plus temperatures. They don't exist.
Okay, here's the thing. Literally speaking, plus temperatures do exist. They do. Because if you want to say you want something between 135 and 145, mathematically, there is a number in between those two numbers. What you have to understand is, in a restaurant where they're cooking things and it's hot and it's busy and it's hectic, how the fuck do you expect a cook who's trained on 5 temperatures to be like, oh, this steak is at medium, I have to give it another few seconds to get the medium plus. Like, that's just not the way food works. Oftentimes, if you order a steak medium, the cook takes it off of the grill at medium rare so that it cooks over to medium before by the time it hits your table. How the fuck do you expect the cook to be like, oh, this is at 135. I got to wait for it to get to 136. Like, the thing you have to understand is if you order a steak medium plus, that temperature does exist because it's a muscle that you cook, right? Get it? But in the aspect of how a kitchen works, plus temperatures do not exist. Just man the fuck up. You like your steak medium rare plus. We order it medium rare anyway. That's what you don't understand. Oh, I like medium rare plus. Oh, do you? You've been eating medium rare for fucking 5 years. You just haven't realized it because no server's been ballsy enough to tell you, yo, that doesn't exist. Get over it.
Well, let's move into the bar. Because we asked a couple of bartenders, what drink would you love to be gone? What drink you don't want anyone else to ever ask you for?
I got one. Skinny spicy margaritas.
Skinny spicy margarita.
Skinny spicy margaritas.
Skinny spicy margarita, there's a reason behind it. And the point is that most guests that always order that, they don't know what they're expecting.
Right. After you came back from LA and you fucked that bohemian guy, you've been having skinny spicy margaritas. But the thing you have to understand is that for a long time, skinny spicy margaritas, they put drops of agave into it. So the sweetness that you think you're getting in a skinny spicy margarita is not actually skinny. So when you go somewhere and you get a skinny spicy margarita with no sugar in it at all, no agave, nothing, it seems super sour to you. But it's actually a skinny spicy margarita. Yeah?
Yeah. The other one, Long Island iced teas. Stop it.
Come on, man.
Just listen, if you think that you go to a restaurant and you ask for a Long Island iced tea and it makes you look good in front of your date, you're wrong.
That shit is ratchet. But ratchet,
there are much better ways for you to get drunk.
Yeah.
You want to look a little bit more
killing yourself.
Casual? Ask for a rum and coke. You want to get a little something more fun? Get a margarita. But don't ask for a Long Island iced tea.
I got a positive. I'd like to see more solo dining. People going out to eat dinner by themselves. I do it all the time. And I don't feel like I see it enough in my restaurant. Yeah, it's just me. Sit down, take the other setting away at a 2-top. That person has all that space. They order, they're polite, they're chill. I don't see enough of it. I definitely don't see enough women eating by themselves.
You know what?
Which I would love to see.
I want to see more people say that, oh, I'm a foodie. Then go eat earlier. If you're really a foodie, what does it matter? Just go earlier. Mm-hmm. Food's going to be better. Service is going to be better.
Right.
But don't come in when everybody's there and then be like, oh, I'm a foodie. I eat everywhere. Please. No.
Something I'd like to see less of is people being attached to their phones when they eat. I would love it if people ate and they were more interactive with the people they were eating with their food, with their servers, and less with their phones.
Now, here's one from management. No more gift cards. Now, the reason behind it is gift cards are a big source of fraud.
Huge.
Because if you steal somebody else's credit card, you might go somewhere else, it gets flagged, etc. It's ways for people to find you. But if you steal someone else's credit card and you buy a bunch of gift cards, then you're good. So it's a big source of fraud.
So if you want to eat at a restaurant with a stolen credit card, just buy gift cards and you're good to go. Is that what you're saying?
Pretty much. That's why gift cards, gone.
Something I'd like to see more of is affordable dining. I went to this little omakase place in New York, and it was like 5 or 6 courses for less than $100. Amazing. It was amazing. Like, I get it. You're laundering money in your restaurant. You gotta report some kind of like loss or whatever you gotta do, right? I get it. But man, dude, it'd be so nice because like things aren't getting any cheaper. They're not. And I don't think people are ever going to stop wanting to go eat out. But since people are making, it's not that people are making less money, it's just things are more expensive. So they have less money to go around. There has to be a market that's created for people to want to have high quality dining experiences that are still, pocket friendly. It'd be great because it's challenging. I get it is challenging, but it'd be awesome. It'd be an awesome challenge for like a chef or a business owner to be like, listen, okay, we're not going to make a ton of money in this restaurant. And I get it. This isn't practical, but we're talking fantasies here for some things. We have these ingredients. We're going to make the best thing we can with these ingredients and offer people this experience at this price point. It'd be cool, because it's not going to affect expensive restaurants very much because those restaurants are going to be around. People want those luxury experiences. But it'd be cool if there were more affordable dining experiences that you didn't have to take such a big hit on quality compared to like, fine dining restaurants.
I'm going to finish it up with this one because we don't have that much time. We'll probably try to put the other ones in short contents. But to complete it up, here's one that I would like to see a lot more in restaurants. Complete food orders. Every time I go to a restaurant, my server asks me if I'm ready. I'm like, just give me a second so I can give them a complete order. That way, can work on them the way that they require at their pace because you're not the only person in that restaurant. And I get it. You want to feel like you're in control, but you're not. You're just part of an experience. And you say to yourself, yes, I'm paying for this, so I get to choose. No, you don't. You go watch a movie. You pay to see the movie. You don't stop it and then come back whenever. No, it's going to go with or without you. You're part of an experience. You're paying a ticket for that. You get to tweak it to your liking by making your food order, but just put a full order. Simple. Restaurants, 2024, please, from now on, complete food orders.
Mm-hmm. You really show how little you know about eating out when you tell your server, no, I don't want an appetizer. We're really hungry. We're just going to go straight to it. How many times have you heard that?
A lot.
So when you say stuff like that, it goes to show how ignorant you are about how a kitchen works. If you want your food to come out faster, order an appetizer and your main course so that as you're eating your appetizer, your main courses can get prepared and they can come out more seamlessly. Or you can order your steak, medium well plus, order fire with no appetizer, and then complain that your food's taking a long time.
Ultimately, by 2023, 749,000 restaurants were registered in the United States. And approximately 50,000 new restaurants are opened every year. This is a booming industry filled with opportunities and new experiences for you to enjoy. If you go to a restaurant and you don't enjoy it, there's always plenty more for you to check out. There's no need for you to write bad reviews and try to ruin somebody else's reputation or business, or even worse, their livelihood. And if you work in a restaurant and you don't like your job, stop bitching about it. There's plenty of other opportunities out there. If you really want to change your life, put in the work. We did. A lot of people did, and we're doing just fine. If you're not willing to put in the work, then learn to love your job. Because otherwise, you know what to do. And that's our show. This was the last show of our season. We're going to take a small hiatus and we'll be back soon. Let us know in the comments below, what was your favorite shift to work this year or your least favorite shift to work this year? What are your resolutions for this year regarding the restaurant industry? Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thank you for listening.
Don't forget to tip.
And we look forward to hosting you again real soon.
Take care, everybody.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe.